What a sight to kick off the weekend for Supercross returning to the Northeast with the Empire State Building lit up on Friday night in SuperMotocross World Championship colours. And what a night it was in MetLife Stadium, a night we will never forget, with two fresh winners on the season and a first-time winner period in Max Anstey in 250 competition, in 450 conditions exactly the same, and Justin Barsha broke a 2-year drought. Yes, pardon the pun, but on a very wet night, his drought was broken. As we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show from New Jersey. And the series had not raced here since 2019, and what a return. Hi folks, Lee Diffie with a couple of the sports legends, James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael. RC, you first up. What a night. We won't forget this one in a while.
I mean, my mind is blown right now. It was a great day. Track was fantastic, and then we're at a rain delay. Never had that happen ever, and then it was a complete quagmire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were sitting here waiting like lightning. It was beautiful out. We were looking at the Empire State Building. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, are we racing today? But those guys got it done. And just for us, it was the day was filled with action, and those main events as well. All
right, let's show you what went down here at MetLife Stadium. 250 highlights on this East-West showdown. And let's start with the heat racing. And in the West heat, it was R.J. Hampshire who got the better of a storming Jet Lawrence. In the East, where the other Lawrence, that was Hunter, he was racing Joe Shimoda, and the Kawasaki rider got the better of him. And then, guys, the weather came in.
Oh, she came in. We had guys streaking. We had guys running around. You had the mechanics out here, so it was a 90-minute delay. But, of course, these guys are professionals, and once the gate dropped, they did what they do best, and they went racing.
250 East-West showdown, and check it out. Look at this track. Look at all the splashing of the puddles. Whole shot was going to be a premium. You said it on the the insights of the races. And man, watch how fast and hard these guys race for that #1 spot. That's Anstey there, number 63, and that Firepower Honda Maximus Volan, number 34. That Red Bull K-Team factory racing machine.
And it wasn't going to change from there on out, folks. Max Anstey was able to stay ahead. Jet Lawrence and R.J. Hampshire went out, and that wasn't the only time, James. We'd see something later on.
Yeah, of course. Like with Jet, R.J. was the closest to him in points, so Jet makes his way around Max right there. R.J.'s kind of follows suit, but it really gets interesting at the end of the race right here.
And so Jet Lawrence set out after Max Anstey, the race leader, but there was action thick and fast in these super trying conditions, and that was R.J. Hampshire past Maximus Volan. Yes, the guys were doing the best they could, RC, in these super tricky conditions.
Well, you see Hayden Deegan right there. He tries to take a shot at Hunter Lawrence, and why? Because he still had a mathematical chance at the championship, and still does.
And pay attention, you saw what Hayden did. Now you check this one out. RJ kind of does the same thing as, you know, Max Anstey gets the victory right here. But then we see this bike coming sliding in. And no, they're not surfing, folks.
That was a wild, wild move. That's R.J. Hampshire.
That's called going for it, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Yeah, that's just going for it all.
But Jet recovers, keeps the bike from stalling, and allows his brother to get up there on the podium.
Yes, it was a Honda sweep. There's a replay. Jet Lawrence was able to get up. Hunter Lawrence maintained it just ahead of Maximus Volan. But look at that. That's what a first-time winner looks like.
Incredible job by Max Anstey. He started out this season strong, and it's so cool. You can see how emotional and how happy he is, and I'm happy for that team. Great job to his team manager, Martin Davalos, as well.
Big props there to R.J. Hampshire to try and get his bike going again, but he couldn't quite push it away. So Max Anstey becomes an automatic qualifier for the SMX playoffs at the end of the year by being a race winner in the 250 class. And here are the results. Honda 1, 2, 3 with Anstey and the Lawrence brothers. Maximus Volan in the top 5. Enzo Lopes had a really good night. And Hayden Deegan, we showed you that fall, but he recovered to end up finishing in 6th in his first ever East-West showdown. Points look like this. We start with the West, and it's 39 is the advantage to Jet Lawrence. So Jet can wrap it up at his next race in Denver over RJ Hampshire. As far as the East, well, Hunter Lawrence could have walked away with the title here tonight if he left with a 52-point advantage. That's not the case. So he's going to have to rely on the next race in Nashville. So that's the 250s taken care of right then and there. We need to turn the page and talk about 450s because the day got underway in pretty spectacular circumstances, and that's not necessarily on a good note because there were falls, this track was very challenging, and there were several riders that were set up for a pretty interesting day.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts off with Eli Tomac. You know, we were all kind of scared. First lap of practice goes down, hand comes off, gets slammed on the ground, and ends up like, you know, not finishing the practice. Comes back out and rides, but you wasn't really sure, Ricky, on how he was going to react, but Champ does what he does, and he reacted really well.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it off air. I mean, he is not the Eli Tomac of old. That guy is answering the bell, and you know, he's well on his way to his third championship. Tonight was a really, really pivotal moment for him, in my opinion, and it's going to be hard for these guys to beat him for the title. All
right, let's show you what the guys were talking about because it was a more than eventful day for the rider with the #1 plate, the defending champ, Eli Tomac, and the points leader coming into this East Rutherford round here in New Jersey. Let's talk qualifying practice. Look on the outside, bike one. Stu mentioned the hand came off and boom, down it goes. That was in practice and he limped away from his bike.
Yeah, he got lucky right there. And next is AP, the #7. Looks like JS out there a few times, but come across, gets it kicked in the back, and that was a big one, Ricky. Yeah, that was a big hit right there.
He landed right on his back on the takeoff of that next jump. He hit hard. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to race. Oh.
Now check this out. It turned out to be a great night for Justin Barsha, but it wasn't earlier in the day. He goes sideways and gets collected by Adam Cianciarillo, and the big loss there was for AC. He didn't go any further on this day or night, and that was a lucky escape for Justin Barsha.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin got lucky right there, and that was all dictated with the track being super slippery, but now look at it. It's a lot different right now. It looks like Chase Sexton pulls the whole shot lead.
Got the whole shot and was looking good. But there's a big but coming, Ricky. We keep our eyes at the front of the field and you watch Justin Barsha in second because it's all about to unfold when he challenges for that top spot. Here comes Ken Roczen with a blinding move.
He comes out of that corner, is able to double, puts the power to the ground, trying to get that clear track position, stay out of the wet and the mud. Check this pass out on Justin Barsha. I think it looks worse than it really was.
Yes.
He just barely tapped him, but listen, you have to do that in this situation, James. You know that. We've been in this position a million times. That clean air and clean vision is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why you saw in both classes, the guys are super aggressive in the beginning part. And I think today, what it was like 73 days since he hit somebody or last person he hit. Well, kind of relapsed tonight, but I give him credit, and he kind of does the same thing to you know, Ken Roczen right here. It's important to be up front, and he was able to do this.
Same pass for the lead.
Look at this. Dives on the inside. Roczen got a little bit hung up, and that gave Justin Barsha a nice instant advantage, which he capitalized on. And then this. Roczen loses his rhythm, and Eli Tomac is there to pounce.
Hey, this was a key moment by Ken Roczen. Pull the clutch in and not let that bike stall out. Would have been hard to get it cranked back up because these bikes are hard to get going once they've had so much engine heat built up.
Do you remember James and Ricky saying it was a champion ride by Eli Tomac? It sure was, but it was a celebratory ride by Justin Barsha. He's been winless for more than 2 years, but in his home region, victorious aboard the Red Bull Troy Lee designed Gas, and he could not be more thrilled. That was a long time coming for the new dad. And you were thinking he was going to celebrate? You betcha.
Celebrate with a kick in the face of mechanic right there, but man, this is what I do miss. They ask me about it a lot. I don't miss the mud, but I do miss working with the team and all that, so congratulations, Justin.
So, and Justin Barsha joins Ken Roczen, who was on the podium with, Eli Tomac, who he was on the podium with, Cooper Webb and Chase Sexton as automatic qualifiers for the SMX playoffs later in the year. This is what the results look like. And if you let your eyes walk a little further down, how about Shane McElrath, Kevin Moran's, Benny Bloss? There were a lot of personal bests there on this 2023 season. From the results to the points, And nobody's celebrating more than Eli Tomac, even more than Justin Barsha, because he's extended his lead with the rounds running out as far as Supercross racing is concerned, because his advantage now goes to 11 points over Cooper Webb. Coop had a bit of a rough night here in New Jersey. So that was New Jersey. We're now looking to Nashville, Tennessee. Ricky, what are you looking forward to?
Well, it's winding down to the end. We only have 3 races left, and I was looking at the map there. I mean, Eli Tomac could get second behind Cooper Webb the last 3 races and be the champion. So when you start getting to that position, that's a great spot if you're Eli Tomac. It's a bad spot if you're Cooper Webb and you're Chase Sexton.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Ricky. And I think it was a big, just mental for Cooper Webb. You know, just having a night and seeing what Eli went through, him having the opportunity of being off and maybe injured, but showing up like he always does. But I want to give a shout out to Bondo. You know, we don't really get to mention you, like everything you do, keeping this whole, everybody, the TV crew, Diff, RC. I wanted to give a shout out because it's a lot of stuff that goes behind scenes, and they're the true champions here.
Well, that's very kind of you, James. And what James is referring to is it was a very long night here in New Jersey, that's for sure, for everybody. And we're going to do it again next week in Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, the Music City is going to come alive, and this is how you can watch it. Brought to you by Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 6. Of course, Race Day Live. Of course, all of the racing action. You'll see it on Peacock, and then there'll be a re-air as well on CNBC. Well, there were lots of firsts tonight. We're not going to forget this return to MetLife Stadium, and nor is Justin Barsha. What a time here in New Jersey.